Hey everyone, welcome back to Carrie's Thrifty Farmhouse. If you like decorating on a budget, you're in the right place. Today I'm excited to participate in the Flippin' Friday Challenge hosted by Jamie from Border Bananas and Border Bananas DIY. I'll link both of her channels in the description box below as well as the playlist for the challenge so you can see what everyone comes up with. Today I'm flipping two different containers I found at Volunteers of America and just giving them a little update to take them to the next level. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to like, comment, and hopefully subscribe so I can grow my channel. So with all the formalities out of the way, let's get started. For my first project, I'm refinishing a canister, which was another great find from Volunteers of America. It was originally marked for $4.94, but because I went on half-off day, I got it for about $2.50. This is a great example of how it's important to see past the finish and just look at the shape of something. This was a super cool shape, but the design of it is really outdated, so this is the type of piece I love to update with paint. I started out by painting the piece with white chalk paint. I used my favorite, Rust-Oleum white linen, but you can use whatever you have on hand. I do like to use chalk paint because it's kind of like primer in that it adheres to almost anything. Because of the dark finish to the original piece, it did take 2 coats to get good coverage. After the 2 coats with a brush, I sanded it to make it nice and smooth, then did a final thin coat with the foam brush. This achieved an extra fine, smooth finish. Next, I thought I'd add some stripes like you see on grain sacks, with a thicker stripe in the middle and then 2 thinner stripes on either side. First, I took my time measuring the exact middle and laid down a strip of electrical tape. This would be my wider stripe. Then I used washi tape, which was a little thinner than the electrical tape, and lined it up on either side. Once those were down and really even, I removed the electrical tape. The empty space between the 2 tapes will be the center stripe. Then I used washi tape again to create thinner stripes on either side of the center stripe. It was essentially laying down 3 strips of washi tape on either side and removing each of the center ones. I was undecided on what color I wanted to make the stripes. I think a really light gray or a taupe color would look nice, but thinking ahead to summer, I'm considering doing a nautical theme, and we have this amazing naval blue color from Sherwin-Williams left over from a project many years ago, so I thought I'd use it here. I used a stencil pouncer and just gathered paint and dabbed most of it off before pouncing in between the tapes. There were a couple accidents where I got the blue paint on the outside of the taped areas, but it was simple to go back and touch up with the white later. I'm really impatient, so I just removed the tape while the paint was still wet. And I don't know about you, but I find this sort of reveal so satisfying. Seeing the clean, crisp stripes appear as the tape is removed, I just love it. Finally, I used sandpaper to sand the stripes slightly to give them a weathered look. You can skip this step if you want, but I like things to look a little aged. Just make sure that you run the sandpaper in the same direction of the stripes. And here it is with just some simple tulips I had in my existing floral stash. I just love how this turned out, and I think it's going to look amazing with some of the other nautical pieces I have in the works. I also love that the stripe is just on one side, so I can just turn it around if I feel like a plain white vase would match better with the current decor. And don't forget that the canister had a lid, so I could also use this piece on my kitchen counter. I love creating pieces that have some versatility. So now on to my second project. I've been looking for a milk pitcher for a long time and finally found one last month at Volunteers of America. It was another piece I snagged on half-off day, and it was originally priced $3.93, so I got it for just under $2. I didn't care for the original finish though, so I thought I'd give it a galvanized look. I've used this faux galvanized look many times on previous projects, and it's super easy and pretty much foolproof. I started out by covering the entire container with a charcoal gray color. Here I'm using my favorite elephant color of chalk paint by the Waverly brand at Walmart. Just 1 coat is enough. Since we're layering on many different colors, it's okay if some of the original color shows through. Next, I'm using a dry sponge to add on a metallic silver color. I just love Martha Stewart's metallic paint. A little goes a long way. I think I've used this one container for over 5 years, and although the original container was replaced at some point, I've only used about half of the paint. Using a dry sponge allows there to be places where the darker gray still shows through. This is perfect to achieve the weathered look that we're going for. Next, I'm using the same dry sponge technique to add a graphite gray color. Here I'm using the Apple Barrel brand, which is super affordable, only about 50 cents at Walmart. The color is the same tone as the silver color, but it has a matte finish, so the picture is taking on that weathered look that we love. Finally, I'm using a nutmeg brown color and adding it sparingly around the picture to give it a slight rusted look. I'm concentrating on areas that would see the most wear, like around the handle and around the edges. You can use as much or as little of the rest color as you want to achieve your desired look, and you really can't go wrong here. If you put too much on, you can just go back and use one of the previous colors to touch up. Like I said, it's pretty much foolproof. And here's the finished product. I just love how this turned out. I just added some simple white floral picks from Dollar Tree and some greenery I got from Volunteers of America for just 45 cents. I think these look like wildflowers, and it definitely makes me eager for spring and summer to arrive. Thanks for joining me today. If you found me from the Flippin' Friday playlist, I'd love for you to stick around and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification button so you can stay up to date with my content. I have lots in store for this winter season that you won't want to miss, so stay tuned for that. See you next time. Bye.